New intro. So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you.
Hear me clearly. America is not a racist country.
We need to address, well, first of all, no, I don't think America is a racist country.
This video has also been brought to you by racism. Racism is accepted wherever true Americans are.
New at 5, a Northside family outraged after someone apparently working for the city went onto their property and turned their Black Lives Matter sign face down.
And I was livid when I saw the video.
Dimitri Hepburn's video shows a man with a vest walk onto this property,
Steps on some plants.
yank up a Black Lives Matter sign, and then turn it face down after it lands on its side.
He took the time to turn it over so that it was face down. It was, I don't want to say unbelievable, but shocking.
Just before that, the man tied a sign to a tree, where today we found City of Chicago no parking signs in the work zone.
I think he needs to be held accountable.
We saw a city truck and multiple city employees working in the area today. Workers told us they were doing sewer cleaning, and they didn't know anything about the removal of the sign. Hepburn and his wife say they reached out to Alderman Samantha Nugent and were told the ward office is looking into it.
It was a violation of my First Amendment rights. We can have signs up in our own yard. It's a violation of our safety and privacy, I felt. There's a clear delineation between what is public property and what is our garden, our private property. Black Lives Matter is not only Black Lives Matter, it's Black Lives Matter too. Black Lives Matter as well.
A spokesperson for the alderman said they believe this person in the video was either an employee or a contractor for the city's water department. The water department says this is not in line with the city's values. They're working to ID that person, and they've referred this to the inspector general.
All right, so as we were clearly able to see, this was a black family minding their own business, and they had a sign directly up in their yard. You had a person who was working directly for the city decide that he was, hey, let me do my job and, put up these notices so that people will know, hey, move your car because we're going to be working in between this time and this time, and your vehicles cannot be on the side of the street because of X, Y, and Z. And then he turns and he sees a Black Lives Matter sign. Now, instead of him just seeing the sign and walking off, he decided to go directly into their yard, step on some flowers and or plants, and pull the sign up and then flip it over and then continue on about his business. At no point in time is this acceptable or should it have happened, right? It is up to other people, right? Whatever they feel or whatever they believe in. I don't even care if it might have been a Trump 2020 type of deal that was directly in the front yard. You don't touch other people's property. At the end of the day, if it's on their property, it's on their property. Just let it be. It's not bothering you. It's minding its own business, and you should be minding your own business. Like I said before, this is something that an adult doesn't do, right? This is something that an adult is not supposed to do. This is something that a child would do, because children don't know how to manage their own emotions whenever they happen to see something that they dislike. A child will be like, oh, I don't dislike it, let me go hit something, let me go start spinning around on the floor showing my emotions, let me start knocking things over, let me start throwing stuff. That's things that a child would do. That's things that an emotional teenager would do. An adult who knows how to manage their emotions and their feelings is not going to conduct themselves or act in that type of manner. And also, to further point out the case of why this has to deal with racism, the black man stated it. He said that Black Lives Matter isn't just saying Black lives only matter. He's saying that Black lives matter too. But as noted, you have a lot of people that can't exactly get what it is that the statement basically means. Like I said, it's a difference between the actual statement, which I'm pretty sure the black community can get behind and agree with, versus the actual group. Those are two separate things. If you got a issue and a problem with the actual group who is taking money and not really doing anything with that money but making themselves rich, fine, so be it. Go have that issue with them. But for the statement itself, it is 100% factual and true. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because when you look at the United States of America, you can clearly see that at no point in time that Black lives actually matter. Now, some people might happen to state, well, if Black lives actually do matter, then why don't we talk about this, right? Which is crime within proximity, or the branding that people like to use, which is Black on Black crime. And I'm going to allow somebody else to better, explain this to the people directly in the back.
Talk about black killing black. Okay, but then let's talk about whites. Let's talk about whites killing whites killing blacks, whites killing Asians, whites killing gays, whites killing anybody that's not white, and then also whites killing white people. Let's talk about whites who are child pornographers. Let's talk about white pedophiles. Let's talk about white human trafficking rings. Let's talk about white drug dealers. Let's talk about white corporate crime. Let's talk about white serial killers that are shooting up churches, shooting up movie theaters, shooting up shopping malls, shooting up children's schools. Let's talk about the white deranged people that hide children and women in their basements and chain them up and keep them enslaved and abuse them and beat them, okay, and then impregnate them for years. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the white terrorists, like just what happened January 6th at the Capitol building. Let's talk about all that.
So, as she beautifully put it, there is obviously, right, an issue here, right? Whenever Black people want to just so happen to focus on the things that specifically happen to them by way of other people, people want to deflect and change the narrative to something else. It's like, well, okay, this did happen, but hey, how about you focus on this first? You see how that works? They act as though the moment in time that you focus on this, that realistically you should be focused on that, even though Black people have enough of a population where we can actually focus on both, if not a multitude of other issues as well. But they would rather Black people as a collective not focus on the discrimination, the bigotry, and the racism that is happening in the country, but more so focus on Black issues and things happening in the Black community. But this is also the funny part within that. The moment in time that Black people happen to focus on themselves, on the community, on unifying, on business, on education, on buying back the block, on saving money, on trying to separate, and a multitude of other things, right? The moment in time that Black people just so happen to want to focus on those things, you know what everybody else decides to state? Oh no, you can't do that. That's racist. You can't do that. That's discriminatory. You can't do that. We're all one people. You can't do that. We're all God's children. You can't do that. That's not how America was formed. And this is why I like to bring up certain videos like this with other people talking, because they will decide to specifically highlight the real main issue that likes to get swept directly underneath the rug, that the media does not like to put out. All of these stories that she has literally listed, all of the issues that she has literally listed, all of the problems that are a consistent in the United States of America, I have covered myself on this platform. And anytime I happen to cover these stories, it's always a, what about this? What about that? Black men did this, Black men did that. Look at this crime here. Look at it. It's always this type of deflection whenever these things get brought up. You know why? Because realistically, America does not like to look at themselves. They don't want to see themselves as the villain. They don't want to see themselves as the people who are doing the utmost harm to the United States and abroad. They don't want to see themselves as the criminal and the villain. They always want to see themselves as the hero and as the champion and as the savior who is here to lay down corrective rulings and measures and laws that will help make other individuals, more specifically Black people, more civilized and more human. Like I said before, this is what we're dealing with at the moment in time. This is exactly why you have the alabaster man, the true American, the European descendant, who decided to go into a Black family's yard and take out a sign and flip it over because he disagreed with it. That's how this works. But anyways, If you like any and everything that I stated directly in the video, let me know in the comment section below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.